Why would you drive baseline? It kicks out. You got the whole middle of the court. Play out! Hand, don't foul. Hand! Some of you want to blame, but they're not blaming anybody but you. You're the only one blaming somebody else. You got the shooter, and he sets a screen. You're on him.
I got screened.
No. You helped this way, and then you didn't go.
This is Kentucky basketball.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jennifer Palumbo, and this week on This is Kentucky Basketball, we are coming to you from Memorial Coliseum. A lot of history in this building, and my co-host this week is senior walk-on Sam Malone. You have seen the highs and the lows of Kentucky basketball. Obviously, the highs, the 2012 8th national title, 2014 national runner-up, 2013 NIT tournament, losing in the first round. How does this year's team compare to the other teams that you've been part of?
I think that this year's team is just a team that everyone's in it for each other, and we really respect each other and like each other a lot. And as you can see on the court, by helping each other, we've become a lot better team. And not that that hasn't been with other teams, but I think that there's real sync with this team. It's togetherness, and we know we're relying on each other to do special things.
Tuesday night, it was Vanderbilt and Kentucky at Rupp Arena. Kentucky, of course, getting the win, moving on to 18-0 and 5-0 in the SEC. And this was John Calipari's 100th home game at Kentucky, and he now has the record for the most wins, 96-4 at home here at Kentucky. So that's a pretty impressive number considering the company that he's in.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, Coach Cal's doing a great job, obviously, with getting guys prepared at home. But a lot of that credit goes to the fans too, and how they've showed up every single game. And I think that it's been great ever since I've been here. The fans have been great, and Coach Cal has been gotten us ready to play every single game at home.
Right. When we come back, we are going to flash back to a great moment in Kentucky basketball history. But first, let's take a look back at the Kentucky win over Vanderbilt this week in Rupp Arena.
Comes back out to the top of the key. Bounce pass to Pound to the pick and roll and scores it down low. Andrew Harrison, Cats on the run. Andrew into the lane, kicks it left corner, open three. Hawkins, yes! Ulis bounces to Johnson at the high post, feeds Lyles, reverse layup, good. And then Johnson pops out to get it at the top, feeds it down to Lyles, touch pass over to Booker in the corner, out to Ulis, open three, good off the right wing. Hance, 12-6, and he throws it away. Kentucky on the run, Booker down the lane, off to Johnson, lays it in. Going the other way. Here's a three-point attempt by Fisher Davis off the left wing. Cauley Stein got a piece of it and goes out of bounds.
It's an edge in that regard.
Pass out front is stolen by Dakari Johnson, racing to the other end for a slam. Outlet to Booker, and here comes Kentucky. Booker with a left-hand dribble, goes into the paint, floater, goes. Off to Booker, drives right, hands it to Lyles, to the free throw line with a jumper, it's good. Off to Johnson, back to Ulis on the left side. Pick and roll. Kentucky can't get anything going. Ulis drives. Slam by Cauley Stein. Ulis drives into the lane. Ball stripped away, but picked up by Lyles on the right side. Fakes the handoff to Ulis. Lyles on the spin, dishes, and a dunk for Johnson. Siakam puts it on the floor. Lost it. Picked up by Ulis. A steal for Kentucky. Ahead to Booker. Booker to the basket. Good.
Nice quick hands, Willie Cauley Stein.
Rebounded by Lyles, bounces ahead to Andrew Harrison. Cross court to his brother, Aaron into the paint, right hand layup, good for his first points. Intercepted by Aaron Harrison, played that well. Drives it middle, kicks right side Lyles, lays it up, missed it, follow tap, good, Marcus Lee. Towns and Lee, the other two on the floor for Kentucky. Aaron Harrison into the paint, floats it up for a jam by Marcus Lee. Here's Aaron Harrison on the right wing, feeds it down to Towns. Towns turns baseline, right-hand hook, missed it. Rebounded by Lee, puts it back up and in. Comes back, passes to Aaron Harrison, 8 to shoot. Aaron to the left elbow, pull up 15-footer's good. Dumps it down to Cauley Stein, back to Aaron, deep three, left wing, good. Andrew Harrison drives down the lane, passes to Cauley Stein, 15-footer, good, off the right baseline. Bounce feed down to Jones, around Cauley Stein, goes up, shot blocked by Towns. But Kentucky keeps the possession, 15 to shoot, deep corner three, good, Aaron Harrison from deep in that left corner. Here comes the Go Big Blue chant. Andrew Harrison drives right side, gets to the rim and finishes. And Kentucky improves to 18-0, 5-0 in the SEC, defeating the Vanderbilt Commodores 65-57.
This is Kentucky Basketball is presented by Kentucky One Health and is brought to you by Brick Street Insurance, Delta Dental, Kentucky Community and Technical College System, Kentucky Farm Bureau, and by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
Welcome back. Of course, you have a national championship ring for the 8th national title, but we're going to rewind back to 1996. How old were you in 1996?
I was 5 years old.
5 years old. This was a team that was loaded with talent. Senior day at Rupp Arena. You're getting ready for your own senior day. What are the emotions as you look ahead to that? Or have you even really thought about it?
I haven't thought about it too much. I don't want to get too much anxiety thinking about it, but it's good. It's supposed to be a celebration, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And to go out with Todd and Brian, who have been with me for most of the time here, it's going to be awesome. And to be able to thank the fans for everything they've done is really excited for it.
All right, let's take a look back at this week's flashback to 1996.
This UK Flashback is brought to you by Kentucky One Health.
The year was 1996. After falling to John Calipari's UMass team earlier in November, the top-ranked Wildcats ran off 24 straight wins before facing Vanderbilt on senior day at Rupp Arena. Big Blue fans said goodbye to Tony Delk, Walter McCarty, and Mark Pope that day. UK raced out to a 17-point halftime lead before kicking it into a higher gear in the second. Led by Delk's 23 points, the Wildcats pasted the Commodores 101-63, becoming the first team in 40 years to finish a season with a perfect SEC record. It was also UK's 25th straight win, which set a school record. They would stretch that streak to 27 games before falling to Mississippi State in the SEC Tournament Finals. UK would go on to defeat Syracuse in the NCAA championship game to win the school's 6th national title.
This UK Flashback was brought to you by Kentucky One Health.
The 1996 national championship team, what do you know about that team?
Well, it's funny because a few of them ended up being Celtics, so I know that Ron Mercer, Tony Delk, Antoine Walker, and Walter McCarty were some of my favorite Celtics players, so that's how I really got familiar with Kentucky basketball. Was, I had seen that all these guys coming up from the Celtics, and they all played at Kentucky, and that's when I started to become a fan of Kentucky basketball.
Of course, because you grew up in Massachusetts.
Yes.
When we come back, we're going to take you inside the play, so stay with us for more here on This is Kentucky Basketball.
Hi, this is John Robick from Kentucky Basketball, and welcome to this week's edition of Inside the Play. On this week's edition of Inside the Play, we're going to look at a play that we ran against Missouri in their zone defense. What we want to do in the zone defense is attack gaps. In this case, we're going to have more of a 3-out, 2-in look, and you'll be able to see all the options that we have and what gaps we choose to drive. So Aaron finds Andrew, and first off he looks as to where can I drive the ball. Dominique will cut through and make that ball side forward come out. As soon as he sees him come out, he's going to look to post the ball. We are at our best when we put the ball inside against the zone and play inside out. So Dakari does a good job of going and getting the ball. On that, Willie will dive. Dakari makes a smart decision to throw back to Dominique. You have Andrew Harrison here, Aaron Harrison here, and Dominique with the ball. What he should do is try to find the first gap available in which to penetrate. So on the drive, he has the lane. 15 stays back to guard Andrew. Dominique does a great job getting exactly where we want him to go, and this is one of his strengths, is getting into the paint for a little floater against the zone. That's this week's edition of Inside the Play. See you next week.
This week's Meet a Wildcat is someone you know very well, Brian Long. Tell us a little bit about Brian Long that we may not know.
I've been with Brian Long, a.k.a. B. Long, for 4 years, and something I don't know is I think he knows everything about sports, more than anyone I've ever met in my life, and everyone knows that B. Long knows what he's talking about when he starts talking about anything from football to basketball. He knows it all.
All right, here's this week's Meet a Wildcat, Brian Long.
Meet a Wildcat is brought to you by Window World, the preferred window installers of the Big Blue Nation.
I like LeBron just because, I mean, everyone's going to say Michael Jordan, I'm sure, but I like LeBron because I think he's the most dominant player I've seen. Michael Jordan was a little bit before my time, so I'll say LeBron. Who's ever the cleanest? I don't know. The neatest person, Marcus maybe? The messiest. EJ. Probably the Big Blue Madness camp out my freshman year. That's when I first kind of saw how crazy it was. Tough call. Once again, I think everyone has a pretty high basketball IQ, I think so, and they've been around the best, so I think if everyone really put their mind to it, they could do it.
Meet a Wildcat was brought to you by Window World, the preferred window installers of the Big Blue Nation.
When we come back, Coach John Calipari's mailbag and Sam will be answering fan questions. That's next on This is Kentucky Basketball.
UK Athletics would like to thank our official Cornerstone partners, Central Bank, the official bank of UK Athletics, and Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Everybody that I've worked for, you take from. But in all of this, you still have to be yourself. There are things that Larry Brown has taught me how to be with kids, how to really be curious, how to keep changing and not be afraid to change. You had the structure of a Paul Evans, Ted Owens. Again, all that I learned there, drill work and all the other things I learned from Ted Owens when I worked for him. So I think, again, I learn from everybody. I am who I am, good or bad. You know, I do know that what we've done to really make this about the players, we sit on the same side of the table. That doesn't mean I don't drive them. It doesn't mean I don't get angry. It doesn't mean I don't, I'm accepting anything other than their best. But they also know he wants what's best for me.
If you have a question for John Calipari, just go to his Facebook page and he may answer it on an upcoming show. And now Sam Malone is going to answer some Twitter questions from fans. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, we have a lot about your headband and your dance moves, so
okay.
Here we go. At Miss Sheena B wants to know, what's the story behind the white headband?
Well, first of all, if you look carefully, I wear blue on the road because it's an NCAA rule that you need to wear the matching jersey color. So it's not always white. And the story behind the headband is that the first few games, well, beginning of the year, my hair was crazy, so I needed to like keep it up somehow, so I just decided to go with the headband. And then a few games in, I got a haircut, and I was about to walk onto the court at Rupp, and my teammates were like, "Where's your headband?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "We haven't lost yet, you have to keep the headband on." So that's why the headband's still there. And a lot of people seem to like it, so I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Keep it.
Yeah.
At Chris Roush 31 says, if you had to pick a starting five of the guys you've played with, who would they be? That's a tough question.
It is a very tough question. So I'd go Nerlens, Anthony Davis, Michael Gilchrist, and Tyler Ulis, so I could get all the shots and I wouldn't have to play any defense because I would have all the shot blockers underneath and Tyler up pressuring the ball, and they would just pass me the ball and I could shoot.
Put yourself in the starting five.
Yep, exactly.
At Dennis A. Smith 02 asks, where did he learn to dance? You have some great moves that you're known for. We saw it at Big Blue Madness.
Yeah, I still haven't really learned to dance. I'm still trying to figure it out. But the inspiration for my dance at Big Blue Madness was the Pee Wee Herman tequila scene in Pee Wee Herman. So that's where that came from.
Going on with the dance theme, at Aaron Huff asks, ask him if he'll bust out some of his sweet dance moves at half court if we win number 9.
If we win number 9, I'll do anything. Anything you guys want me to do if we win number 9. So.
Will you have a special dance for that, or will we see the return of the Pee Wee Herman?
I think it will just come to me. Like, I'm not going to prepare for my number 9 dance. I think when we win it, it's just going to hit me and I'm going to do it. I don't think there's any preparing for that.
When we come back, we'll wrap things up with Sam Malone and take a look back at the Kentucky-South Carolina game. Stay with us. You're watching This is Kentucky Basketball. Welcome back. This is your senior year at Kentucky. You are a marketing major?
Yes.
You're also an outstanding student. You won an award at the Final Four, the Elite 89, for having the highest GPA. So clearly academics are important to you. What are you going to do after Kentucky?
It's a tough question. I'm really not sure yet. I've thought about staying in basketball, but I'm not sure. Maybe something with marketing, maybe something with basketball, but you know, I've learned how to have a great work ethic from being here at Kentucky. So I think whatever I do, if I stick with the stuff that coach has taught me, then I'll be okay.
Sam Malone is a name that's well known to TV fans. So I have a question for you. Did your parents name you after Ted Danson's character on the show?
I still haven't clarified with that with them yet. I'm not really sure, but it's funny. People come up to me and be like, "Do you know you're named after the guy from Cheers?" I'm like, I've gotten that my whole life. Like, you don't think I know that? But it's cool, I guess, and it's not a bad person to be named after. I guess he was kind of the man. So.
Well, you've done a great job as co-host. Thank you so much. We wish you all the best this season.
Thank you.
And we leave you now with a look back at Kentucky at South Carolina. We'll see you next week for another edition of This is Kentucky Basketball.
Ulis, top of the circle, drives into the zone, off to Booker, left corner, 3, good for Devin Booker. Thornwell, 10 to shoot. Thornwell, right wing, guarded now by Lee, goes by him, shot, swatted away by Lee, picked up by Ulis, 3-on-1, ahead to Aaron Harrison, layup good, Kentucky leads 11-8. Into Lee, back to Booker, 15-footer, right side, no good, rebounded and put back up and in by Dakari Johnson. Strong put-back basket by the big fella. 3 out to Ulis, around to Aaron, deep 3, left wing, got it!
Left side, extra ball swing. The guards kept it going unselfishly.
Rebounded by Cauley Stein, who's checked in there with Johnson, the Harrisons, and Booker. Andrew fires it to Booker, down the lane for a dunk!
How about Booker running the floor?
Passes out front, and a steal by Ulis. Ulis drives down the lane, comes to a jump stop, and then puts it in as he lets Stroman fly by. Right side it comes to Thornwell, penetrates, 15-footer, no good. Rebound tapped up into the air, grabbed by Ulis, ahead to Booker, behind the defense, dunk.
Devin.
Big possession here to push the lead to 8. Ulis with 10 to shoot. Between the circles, crossover dribble down the lane, off to Lyles for a dunk. Oh, Ulis broke the ankles of a South Carolina defender. This lead. That first half had 3 rebounds for Kentucky. Ulis bounce pass to Booker, right corner, 3, good.
How sweet a pass was that by Tyler Ulis.
Out front it comes to Notice. Notice drives on Lyles, gets to the rim, blocked by Cauley Stein. Ball rolls out of bounds, off the foot of Notice. Kentucky ball. Off to Aaron on the left side. Aaron drives it to the baseline, pull up 10-footer, good.
Wow, soft shot, created space off the bounce.
Harrison between the circles. Jump pass over to Lyles. Open left side. Drives into the paint. Cut off. Dumps it down to Cauley Stein for a dunk. Takes the handoff. 8 to shoot. Aaron on the drive. Into traffic. Flips it in.
Boy, did he finish that one. Wow, nice shot.
10 to shoot. Aaron goes left. Now changes directions. Comes right. Out to Aaron. Down to Booker. Drives right baseline. Pull up 10-footer. Yes, sir.
Because of how they're playing, we're going to grind it out. And that's what we did. Look, there's going to be games where we play this way. That we don't have to play fast. We don't have to play wide open. We can make you guard us in the half court and do things, and we're getting better at it. We work at it every day, you know. And these guys, they did it. You know, part of the thing today again is they're getting 3 days off. I told them you get 3 days off. I get the rest of today off. They're getting Sunday off. Monday's an individual work day.
This is Kentucky Basketball, was presented by Kentucky One Health and was brought to you by Kroger, Safelite Auto Glass, Time Warner, Toyota, and by the UPS Store.